Welcome everyone to the third edition of the biggest anti-hype in the world of anime. I know it's been centuries, not millennia, since there was another edition of this series. Spin-off, to call it somehow. This was born from the biggest hype in anime, with this spin-off being the total antithesis of the main series. Many of the adorable and epic papus and mamus watching this video might be new and not know what it is. A hype or an anti-hype extrapolated to the world of manga anime, of course, but don't worry. It's tradition to always explain what a hype or an anti-hype is before starting a video of the series. In a nutshell, a hype, as the word suggests, is someone who sells you smoke, someone who promises something. They boast about having certain abilities or inflate themselves, only to turn out to be the exact opposite. In anime, a hype is someone who immediately portrays themselves as the toughest person around, like the last Coca-Cola in the desert. But before long, we realize he was actually a fraud. Or at best, never that great. An anti-hype, which is what concerns us today, would be just the opposite. The character initially appears unimpressive due to his attitude, personality, or not fully displaying his abilities. Practically never. And because of that, we tend to underestimate him, only for him to completely shut us all up at some point in the story. As practical examples, I already have 2 videos prior to this one where you can take a look to take them, as well as a graphic sample. I'll be leaving a link to the playlist in the description of this video. Yes, that's correct, with all the necessary explanations provided. Let me take you on a wonderful journey where we will see 3 totally based characters, which at first we never thought they would be so damn epic. It was only a matter of time that sooner or later, Maito Guy would have his deserved place in this section of the channel. Maito Guy is a cherished Naruto character. His positivity and bravery throughout his journey made him beloved by many. Ninja despite being unable to properly handle chakra. His story of overcoming, his effort, the figure his father represented in his life. The fundamental pillars made this ninja-like character who initially seems unexceptional. Any braggart won the heart of absolutely all the fans of this anime around the world. I have absolutely nothing against Rock Lee, but I would be lying if I told you that Maito Guy is not everything that Rock Lee could not be. It is truly a display of maximum effort, a motivation for absolutely everyone, no matter what stratum you come from. Many of you at this point will be asking, but Bills, why would Maito Guy be an antidote to smoke? Yes, from the beginning, they specified that he is even stronger than Kakashi himself. An elite ninja only surpassed by those with divine powers or God-given abilities. Well, basically, because at first you just don't believe it. Kakashi is introduced from the start as the absolute top dog, and, well, he is. In the Zabuza arc, this is completely demonstrated, where we saw that Kakashi was able to face the Demon of the Mist in a more than respectable way. Initially, Maito Guy appears as a boastful clown, and his design reinforces this impression. I love him dearly, but he can be a bit foolish sometimes. At first, his rivalry with Kakashi isn't taken seriously. This remains true until one finally witnesses the character's capabilities. One of the first signs we had was when we saw that Itachi preferred to avoid fighting against Maito Guy, a sign that he was not just any ninja. Then we saw with Rock Lee the absolutely superhuman abilities that the 8 Gates granted, being aware that surely Maito Guy was capable of using all or almost all of them. Unable to imagine how far would his physical abilities really reach. Then, against Kisame, one of the series' most powerful ninjas, known as the Tailless Bijou due to his disproportionately immense chakra. We saw that Maito Guy could give him a good punch in the snout. By then, we knew Maito Guy wasn't boasting. He was exactly as he portrayed himself. He never lied, but as you all know, the climax came in his fight against Madara. 6 Paths Sage Mode, where we saw Maito Guy finally dare to open those 8 inner gates. Here we were able to learn about Guy's background about his father. Another damn chat, by the way, and how about Konoha's Silver Fang? Kakashi's father even told his son that he was the most talented of his generation. With the difference that that child, the one he looked down on, and who didn't seem like much, would undoubtedly surpass him one day. And that's where we had one of the most epic lines from my dear Kakashi, one of my favorite characters in this medium. Upon seeing Maito Guy open the 8 gates and give Madara a glorious fight, he simply said, Dad, you were right. It's just absolute and extreme cinema. And then I have to hear on the internet that Naruto is a bad anime, or that the Fourth Great War didn't have good moments. Go suck on a bag of dicks, long live Naruto and the mother who gave birth to him. And it doesn't end there. Why not? Happy with this, Madara? The legend proclaimed Maito Guy as the strongest man in the world, just before Maito Guy launched his final attack against the Uchiha. Simply soul-feeling and pure, damned and glorious cinema, gentlemen, Maito Guy. A hopeless cat and one of the many legendary characters from Kishimoto's manga #2, Aira Dan Da Dan. It was one of the big surprises I got last year. It was an anime I expected little from, but it pleasantly surprised me with many elements I liked. Good animation, cool designs, good fights, good music, absurd and somewhat shit-poster humor, a nice romance that simmers slowly, and even a satanic plush cat that I self-insert into. Ever since we met Aira, the pink-haired slug, I believe I represent nearly everyone. When I say that, not only is she disliked from the get-go, but she also seems quite useless. It's annoying. And that, at most, she can serve as part of a forced love triangle or as a strange device to inject drama into the plot. Basically, to put it in terms you'll understand, Aira seemed to have fewer lights than a Formula One, if you know what I mean, but without any kind of additional incentive apart from this. That's why my surprise was absolutely huge when in the Dancers episode, Aira behaved like a lady and delivered an episode. Hurt whoever it hurts. It was extremely beautiful and tragic. I don't understand the kids. Aegis insisting that this episode is bad or not sad is something that escapes my limited understanding. The thing is, while this was indeed a positive surprise, since I thought Aira would be relegated to a second plan and wouldn't have much prominence. After this, unfortunately, my fears became reality. And it's that Aira did start to show up as a romantic interest for Okarun, generating moments of those that make me so angry, where there is a misunderstanding and the couple in question fights because of the third party. The thing is, one soon realizes that Aira probably doesn't even like Okarun, but that something else is actually going on with her. Let's see, I'll put it in gentle terms. Basically, Aira does not possess the average mental and cognitive abilities of a person. No, she's lazy. Yes, she's indeed a bit dumb. And honestly, she's an extremely funny character because she's the archetype of Patrick Star, being always stupid, except when everyone expects her to be stupid, then suddenly she's the smartest in the group. Aira is likely not truly in love with Okarun, but rather mistakenly believes she is in love with him. And that's why she does so many silly things, but without taking anything too seriously. Aira has been forgiven at this point, as she has proven to be an enjoyable character who contributes meaningfully to the plot. There should be no issues with her going forward. But not content with this, Aira develops superpowers thanks to the Dancer's gift, thus awakening a super epic form, with which she can fight and thus help Momo and Okarun. And truthfully, she doesn't do a bad job at all. In addition, as time goes by, she appreciates Momo more and more, to the point of protecting her from some kind of horrible rumors at school, which were going to completely ruin Momo's reputation. Simply Aira Chat, an empathetic, fun, somewhat Mongolic person who also fights quite well. More than deserved the spot on this list #3. Majin Q Belze, you're not going to tell us that this video has actually been designed as a Machiavellian plan, are you? So you can talk about Majin Q for a while without having to give explanations, right? You're absolutely right, my friend. I simply can't stop. You've figured it out. Majin Goku, the King of Kings, the Father of Fathers, couldn't go a single day longer without appearing in this video series. Majin Q has ended up being, if not the most, one of the most beloved characters in all of Dragon Ball Daima. Amusingly, Majin Q initially sold us smoke, albeit unintentionally. Allow me to clarify? When he appeared, it was illogical to think that he would be a formidable villain, born from the essence Wake Me Up of Majin Buu. And on top of that, mixed with beings as wild and brainless as a Sabaeman is. Despite all signs indicating he was a bloodthirsty, deranged individual working for Eren Su, he ultimately turned out to be a literal godsend. Ku claimed to be strong, and it was true. If he is indeed powerful, he could sweep the entire SNK, let's see. However, he fell short of Arinsu's expectations. Majin Ku conceded defeat in his battle against Tamagami. A nearly unheard of thing in Dragon Ball, we have rarely seen a character admit defeat in this work. I think we can count them on one hand. But Ku didn't hesitate, and his pride was not an impediment to accepting that his rival was beyond his abilities. Despite this, he offered to perform other tasks, claiming to be skilled in many areas, including singing. At this point, there was little confidence in him. Like with Eren Su, we thought he would remain a foolish comic character, but everything changed with the birth of Majin, his brother. Both would have a very close relationship with each other, as Ku claimed that he always wanted a brother. And he lived for what? 24 hours. Ku's abilities would be seen a little later, where we read to solve a mathematical problem instantly, showing that this friendly glance head possesses a completely privileged brain with the computing and calculation capacity of an advanced PC. He also helped Arinsu in the final fight to find weaknesses in the third asshole to make Goma swallow dick. But obviously the madness came when he, with his decisive final blow at the right moment, managed to snatch Goma's eye, and that the little dwarf would stop fucking around once and for all. Not content with this, he ended up being the legitimate king of the demonic universe and named Arinsu, his creator and mother, as his right hand, thus leaving the government of this place in the hands of a strong, intelligent, and fair leader who also had his brother as a bodyguard. Few could stand up to Majin, who is stronger than it seems. The same goes for Majin Ku, also known as Reiku. He has managed to win the heart of not only all the characters within the series, but also of his fans, showing that with wit, positivity, strategy, and the conviction to never give up, one can be decisive and indispensable, even without being the strongest in the group. Not even close. Majin Ku, the absolute GOAT in my books. And so, folks, we reach the end of this third edition of the anti-hype of anime. Before I go, I want to remind you that if the second chapter of the characters with the greatest aura of anime reaches 10,000 likes, I will release the 6th edition of the biggest anime hype sellers. With about 9,500 likes currently, the goal should be achievable. I have faith in you. I will also leave the playlist of this series in the video description. I hope you liked today's video.